The Empire State Building, Hoover Dam, the Golden Gate Bridge, extraordinary structures that reflect creative thinking that was ahead of its time. The same innovative thinking went into creating Robinwood Medical Center, where comprehensive state-of-the-art healthcare is offered in a relaxing environment, providing you and your family with the healthcare that you need. Like all great structures, you have to see it to appreciate it. Visit the Robinwood Medical Center, Hagerstown. There's simply nothing like it.
Sally, you really should come to Emerald Point to visit. Mark and I are just having a ball at our new place. It was probably one of the easiest decisions we've ever made. When we came in, we chose all our options and features, which made this really our home. And oh, let me just tell you about how stress-free it is living here. No more snow shoveling or leaf raking for Mark, and it sure is nice not to have to worry about maintenance issues. We feel like we're really getting the most out of life now, with people our age who enjoy being active.
Welcome to Contemporary Retirement. Contemporary Retirement is a public interest program concerning the retirement community. Every program has features on legal, health, and financial affairs concerning the retirement community. Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by major grants from the Washington County Health System, the Family Heritage Trust Company, and Quality First Insurance Agency.
Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by a grant from R. Thomas Murphy & Associates, P.C. R. Thomas Murphy & Associates is one of Franklin County's leading law firms emphasizing estate, trust, elder law, and medical assistance planning.
Welcome to the Is It Legal feature on Contemporary Retirement. This segment focuses on various legal issues which are of importance to the retirement community. In an unusual way that we're doing the program today, because it is in fact our 10th anniversary program, we will not have huge amounts of content, but we will have some fun, most specifically directed at picking on me. My guest with me today is Tom Murphy from the Thomas Murphy Law Firm in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Good morning and congratulations, Mike.
Well, your firm was right on the very first program that we did, October of 1998. But Tom, you weren't doing the presentations then.
No, it was my good friend and mentor, Greg Kears. And I'm sure many of the viewers remember Greg. And you know, with his passing, it was a tremendous loss to the elder law community and the community at large. But I know he had a great time working with you and picking on you and doing this show.
Well, yeah, it's kind of fun. We actually have a picture of Greg later in the program, but one of the ironies of this is that Greg was the original casual lawyer, and yet every 6 weeks we get Greg all dressed up and put him on the program. He'd come down here and poke fun at me.
Oh yeah, we'd always know it was shooting day because he'd come in a suit and tie and look shiny and good, and we'd send him on his way. And you know, I think he really enjoyed it just because it was an opportunity to, you know, kind of do something different and mess around with you here and get a different perspective on the law.
And we both had a passion for elder law, and the passion was really driven by the fact that not only did we think what we're doing is important, but also the fact that just as we finished 5 segments on myths, one of our biggest challenges as elder law attorneys is to address the fact that the public is out there operating on preconceptions that are just totally wrong. And Greg had a passion, and you followed on that passion to try to educate the public, and that's really the driver of our program.
Oh, you're right. He drilled it into my head, and it was just such a pleasure and honor to see that side of the law and see people like yourself and Greg who were, dedicated to helping folks and to taking care of them at their most vulnerable. And, it's important to carry that on.
So we've had 10 years and over 500 programs, and you've been doing it for 4.5 years. Tom, I want to thank you for being on the program.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
The vest, the arm thingies, more arm thingies. But what if I wasn't around? Who would protect her from life's dangers? Like really shallow water.
Putting minds at ease for 150 years. Northwestern Mutual. Insurance, investments, ideas.
Call Ed Lowe to help put your mind at ease. Equipped for Life's Hagerstown location is bigger and better than ever. See our new showroom now open on the Dual Highway Hagerstown. With so much space, it's easy to browse the area's most comprehensive selection of home medical equipment. Our professional, caring staff is ready to help and answer all of your questions. From state-of-the-art oxygen systems and walking aids to uniforms and women's health, we can make your life easier. Can't make it in? We'll come to you. You'll love our new showroom. Come in and see us on the Dual Highway Hagerstown or find us in Chambersburg and at all home care pharmacy locations.
Take a Sunday drive and leave your insurance worries to us, Wright Gardner. Call or visit our website to learn how we make insurance simple and more affordable.
Welcome to Contemporary Health Scene. Contemporary Health Scene focuses on the health issues affecting the retirement community. Today's program is a continuation of our 10th anniversary celebration, and one of the most important partners of this program has been the Washington County Health System, represented by James Hamill, CEO. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Mike, thank you very much for having me, and congratulations. It's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I think so. When we started, nobody thought that this was really going to reflect with the public, and we found that the public really does enjoy this program, and most ironically, it's repeated in the middle of the night, and it's always stunning to me to find out how many people actually watch it at 4:30 in the morning.
Well, it probably works very well for people that can't sleep.
Well, that's amazing because there's very little content on at that time. But one of the most important aspects of talking to the public, particularly when we're talking to the retirement community, is we really focus on 4 principal issues, one of which is beyond the scope of this program, which is faith issues. But in terms of their lifetime issues, they're focused on legal, health, and financial. And we feel that the partnership with the health system has just created a terrific opportunity for people to see new technologies and new things that are going on in the health delivery system.
I think it's a wonderful thing that we're doing. And one of the things that strikes me is that it's relatively new in terms of public awareness, but the requirement of healthcare facilities, not-for-profits, to provide community benefit. You give us a wonderful outlet to help underscore some of the things that we do and to get the word out to folks and to help try to improve the health status of the community. So thank you for what you do. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for what you do. I think it's a great thing that you do. I know that you said that there's just millions and millions of dollars that are services that are delivered to the community every year as a part of your justification for the tax treatment that you receive and the requirement that you deliver services essentially to anybody who presents.
We do that in the hospital, but across the health system, I think when we provide an accounting for what we do, it's somewhere approaching $19 million a year.
So when people hear community hospital, it's really important that they understand that it's really their facility. Of course, it is a not-for-profit, but in fact, it is for the benefit of the people in this area.
Absolutely. That's our sole purpose, is to provide health care, improve the health care status of the community, and that is the region, not just a defined narrow geographic area.
And of course, that is also reflected by the fact that you've been a top 100 hospital a number of times, and I know that it's part of our responsibility to deliver that kind of a health system to our future generations.
It is, and whether you're talking about rolling out new programs like what we've done in cardiology and bariatric surgery for folks that are obese, a big problem we have in this community, or whether you're talking about the new facility that we're all focused on getting delivered in a little over 2 years now. It's all about the health status of the community.
And sometimes we watch and we see sometimes in other forms of media a discussion as if the hospital is an independent entity, not reporting to the community, and really nothing could be further from the truth.
Now, we have a series of governance, which is all community representatives, people from the community who take on a very weighty responsibility for managing what amounts to a $400+ million organization and seeing to it that it does what it sets out to do.
And I know that you have multiple corporate entities, all of which are responsible for various parts of the health care delivery system, and all of them having boards of directors. And I know that you have an enormous number of directors, all of which are essentially local representatives of the community.
That's correct, Mike. Whether it's in the hospital, which I think everybody recognizes, or Antietam, which has Robinwood as one of its major initiatives. And incidentally, the work we do in Robinwood or in Antietam, while it's a for-profit, the only reason it's a for-profit is so that we can partner with others and try to provide that seamlessly integrated delivery of health care, not for really returning a bottom line to ourselves. That's incidental, but it really is to be able to partner with other folks to stay in conformance with federal law.
Well, Jim, I want to thank you for the 10 years of support that the health system has provided to this show. Having a medical segment on every show, we think, is not only a benefit to the public, but adds a layer of interest that people seem to enjoy. Thank you for your support.
Mike, thank you, and thank you for what you do. We really appreciate it.
Thanks. More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
Every life that meets its end leaves a heart for love to mend. Sister, brother, family, friends are left to carry on. When the loss seems more than you can bear, it's nice to know that we'll be there at Douglas A. Fiery Funeral Home. We care.
As we grow older, memories grow more and more important. At Loyalton of Hagerstown, experience a rebirth of vitality and performance with memory-making moments each and every day. Experience the warmth of security and companionship that comes with making new friends. At Loyalton, you'll enjoy peace while living with all the comforts of home.
I'm Sherry Woolcock, Community Relations Director. Imagine becoming part of a nurturing community that offers independence and ease of living. Give Loyalton of Hagerstown a call today. We'll be waiting.
Sisterhood, the shared experiences of a community of women. It is through sisterhood that we understand encouragement and financial assistance are compelling factors in restoring stability and hope to shattered lives. With this in mind, we have formed the Women's Giving Circles of Frederick and Washington counties. Women's Giving Circles strengthen the spirit of women through a cycle of donations and grants, directly improving the circumstances of women in the Frederick and Washington County communities. Together in sisterhood, we can change our world, one woman at a time.
Welcome to the Making Sense feature on Contemporary Retirement. This segment focuses on the financial issues affecting the retirement community. In continuance of our 10th anniversary, I have Paul Sweeney, President of Quality First Insurance Agency, on the program today. He was in the first program. We actually have a clip of him later in the show showing him there with definitely younger, although, Paul, you haven't gained any weight.
Oh, about the same size, yeah.
And so Paul is also a veteran of our first TV endeavor, which was a cable access show starting back in 1994, which we would say was just marginally successful, giving it a lot of credit. This program, of course, 10 years, and we get an awful lot of feedback from our listeners, and our sponsors like it. They feel that it's a very effective tool in communicating to the public. And of course, you and I, Paul, have spent a long time trying to make sure the public is educated as to the opportunities that exist for them.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on the anniversary program. I feel very honored to be here, and I'm very happy that the success of the show has been for 10 years, and hopefully we'll be here for another 10 years.
So as we've, and of course you and I not only do TV together, we have a radio show that we do every Wednesday morning in Washington County, and we have been giving speeches all over the state for years trying to educate people about the opportunities that exist for them.
The radio program we've been doing for almost as many years, and the nice thing about that, it's a live program, but the bad thing about that is you can't see you or I. And before we go much further, I wanted to point out one thing. You gave me a gift several years ago on the radio show, and we couldn't really show it to anybody, so I figured this would be a good opportunity to do that. A little prelude to this is you happen to be an Oriole fan. I happen to be from New York, so I'm a Yankee fan.
A front runner.
A front runner. No, I've been a Yankee fan since I was about 6 years old, but I don't know if you remember this. You brought this back to me, I'm going to say about 3 or 4 years ago. I was a little Yankee fan.
So I see that. So let's just turn that to the camera right here. I think we can get this. And so we see a little Yankee insignia there. She's tuning in on it. There we go.
Now the important thing, though, is we have to
turn it on.
Turn it on. I'll let you hold on to it. Let's see if we can see what it says. Go Yankees.
Yes, I got an opportunity to get that for Paul. So for those of you that have wondered what that was and the laughs that we've had about it, that's been really great. And so each week, Paul and I bust on each other. And for years, fortunately for me, the show is on Wednesday, and the Yankees tend to lose on Tuesday nights. The Orioles tend to win. So at least one day per week, I, as the Oriole fan, gets to have some glory.
Yeah, but it seemed to happen more times than not that the Orioles were winning on Tuesdays and Yankees weren't. So it was your moment of glory. So,
Well, Paul, I want to thank you for the 10 years of support, and I always really want to thank you is that every time I've ever called you to ask you to help a person that needs help, whether they were a client of yours or not, you always stepped to the plate and did it, and genuinely appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Mike.
Well, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you around soon,
Okay,
like
Mike.
next Wednesday morning. More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
My father, boy, can he be stubborn. He doesn't always believe me. That's why we go to Home Care Pharmacy. The pharmacist there takes the time to listen to Dad's concerns and help him understand what his options are and what's best for him. It means a lot to Dad to know he's being listened to. Sometimes he is a bit hard-headed, but Dad means the world to me.
There's nothing more important than your future. Leave your insurance worries to us, Wright Gardner. Call or visit our website to learn how we make insurance simple and more affordable.
Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by a grant from Albright, Crumbacher, Mao, and Eitel. Call Albright, Crumbacher, Mao, and Eitel, your trusted advisors for business, personal, and estate planning at 301-739-5300.
Welcome to the special guest segment of Contemporary Retirement. This is our opportunity to interview someone from the retirement community to find out information that's important to those who are thinking about retirement or are already retired. Now, normally this would be taken care of by Michael Day, but as you can see, I'm not Michael Day. So that means we have a special guest. Who could it be? Well, let's see. It's Michael Day. How you doing, Mike?
Well, it's great, and I couldn't interview myself, so I asked my good friend Lou Scally, weatherman extraordinaire on NBC 25, and a longtime friend, if he would do the honors.
We've been friends since 1977. We went into the Hagerstown JCs together. We're in the Rotary together, and Community Foundation, and all these other great causes. And we've just had a wonderful time over these 30-plus years, right?
Plus, we do radio together. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
Well, let's talk about why we got this show started 10 years ago. What was the reason for the show?
Well, ironically, Lou, we did a cable show even before that, and one of the lessons that we learned is that it didn't work very well, and it didn't work very well because we were in the wrong time slot. We also had a format that frankly did not make any sense, and so when you combine bad time slot, poor format, it really wasn't very successful. So we sat down and we rethought out the entire process, and as a result of which we came up with this format.
Now, this format has 4 segments where you actually have different highlighted activities. Tell us about that.
Well, the 4 segments was by design. As you're well aware, you do radio, and on radio you can get away with droning on for quite a period of time, and nobody will turn you off because they are typically doing other things while they're listening to the radio. But television, they turn you on. They expect you to be snappy, get to the point, tell us the story right now. It had better have some entertainment value. So we realized a 30-minute show would be best brought into 4 separate segments completely unrelated to each other. So if we're talking about a legal segment for 5 minutes and you're not very interested in that, we guarantee you, just be patient a minute here, we'll be talking about something else. And so then we'll have a health segment on. Well, I don't want to talk 30 minutes about a health segment because if we're talking about a health segment that isn't applicable to you, well, you're not going to watch it for 30 minutes. You might watch it for a minute or 2, or perhaps if you have a family member, a little longer, but you can't hold somebody's interest if it's not relevant to them. So once again, a 5-minute segment. Finance. When we think about the retirement community, we have 3 basic core things that are secularly they're interested in. Their finances, their legal, and their health. And if you want to have a successful program, you had better have those 3 components in it. Of course, we need a wild card, so that was the special guest segment. Hell, and I'm the guest on the special.
You certainly are.
But we need to have a special thing so that we could talk about things, and we talk about from, having the Alzheimer's Association on, Parkinson's Association, driver safety, all of these kinds of issues that are affecting the retirement community, but don't fall into that compartmentalization of legal, financial, and health.
Well, I know that this show's also been very instrumental in letting people know about some services in this community. Many of these services are your sponsors of Contemporary Retirement, because obviously all the lights and the glitz and the set and everything, there's money involved in it, and it has to be paid for. And you have some really great sponsors, but you just don't play commercials. You actually get a chance to give them a sort of a long-form exposure to explain their services, don't you?
We think it's very important because many of the things that we're talking about in the retirement community frankly don't lend themselves to a 30 or 60-second spot. You're talking to a CPA, and we're talking on this program about, for instance, the sale of your house and tax exclusions associated with that. Well, you just can't do that in 30 seconds or 60 seconds and have it make any sense. We have financial types on. Perhaps we're talking about portfolio management. Once again, you can't do 30 or 60 seconds and have that make any sense. So what we like to do is we have a lot of what I call non-traditional advertisers, people who cannot advertise in a traditional media environment because their message is unfortunately much more complex than the presentation at time allows. So we have just, for instance, assisted living facilities. We find every day people think assisted living is a nursing home. So we like having them on and doing digital pictures so we can actually do a virtual tour of the facility explaining what's going on. Well, you can't accomplish that in a 30 or 60-second spot. So we've had a number of sponsors that have actually been sponsors for the entire length of the program because they have found that this is a way to talk to the public in a manner that makes sense and is consistent with their message.
Fantastic. Well, you know, you and I are both old enough to remember this great show, This Is Your Life with Ralph Edwards, where he'd bring out the guest by surprise, rip open the book and say, Mike Day, this is your life. Well, we don't quite have that lined up, but we do have Mike Day's greatest hits. So we're going to roll the videotape. We're going to take a look at his back pages, the last 10 years of contemporary retirement. Michael, here's a very young attorney with bifocals on, but not a gray hair to be found there.
And really about the worst looking set imaginable.
I think we had a black curtain or a black wall or something there for you. So the production values got a little bit better as we went on. We got a pretty good looking background sooner or later, but we ended up with 4 microphones.
And then we had an army of many on the screen trying to talk. And of course, Pete Alexander's on this program even to today's date.
Now we got the blue curtain. That was a real move up.
Price is Right.
Curtain number 1, and it's still, again, a good bevy of guests here. And then we really moved into the big leagues. Ladies and gentlemen, the bookshelf set back there, the Johnny Carson special, right?
And the desk. Boy, we look good behind that desk. And Greg Kearse in the middle is a longtime great friend of the show. Unfortunately, it has passed.
And of course, over the years, we've had great guests, attorneys, we've had doctors, we've had folks from different facilities around the area, health department officials. Anybody who had a message to get out to the retirement community had a good forum here on Contemporary Retirement. And
of course, I have a very biased one here, Lou.
This is a special guest. This is Mike's wife, Betsy, and she, of course, is in charge of the Frederick Community Foundation, right?
That's right. She's the president there, and we have her on the program occasionally.
And here we are again, a little bit closer to us.
And here we go. You and I, every year we do this.
The old flu shot, and this, of course, to show everybody that it's easy to get your flu shot. Only takes a second, and even big guys don't cry when those needles go in. This is a very special commercial for Home Federal.
That's right. Of course, it's disappeared into the netherworld of corporate America, but it was a favorite bank in Western Maryland, and this was their ad, and a lot of people like that.
Here's Paul Sweeney. He, of course, from Quality First Insurance with the Eddie Munster widow peak there. That's kind of an interesting looking do.
We'll talk a little bit more about Paul when we get done with this segment here.
Again, here you are being fitted with a CPAP machine. This, of course, a breathing apparatus that prevents sleep apnea when you're reclining.
And snoring.
And snoring. It's called the Marriage Saver, ladies and gentlemen. But it's a piece of apparatus, and you're being fitted for it right there. So I tell you what. And now here's the one. Here's the one. I got to look away from the set, folks, if you can't take acupuncture. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, this is fun because I always tried to make myself the butt of all of the jokes, and if there was really no point in telling people, for instance, to get a flu shot if you didn't get one yourself. And ironically, of course, I always got them live on TV, but when we do our radio show, which Paul Sweeney, the People Saws, also does the radio with us, we always drag in the health department, Lou, and we give you yours on the radio show.
Yes, indeed. And I've been known to scream like a little girl every now and then with those shots, but they're very important, and of course, that's the word we're trying to get out. We've had 10 years here on Contemporary Retirement. Where do you see it going from here, Mike?
Well, right now our sponsors actually really like it, and we have what seems to be an increasingly growing cult following of the program. It's funny. We have people every day tell us they watch it all the time. I love to tell this story, Lou. I had a 92-year-old gentleman one time walk up to me in the last few months and said, "I watch your show every Sunday morning, and when I don't watch it, I TiVo it.
Well, you can't beat that.
Which has just stunned me because I'm not sure I can turn on our TiVo machine, but the 92-year-old gentleman can turn his on.
That is the highest compliment be paid to any TV show, to have it TiVo'd by a big fan. I know that over the years that you've had a lot of great guests. Who's the most memorable one you've had in the last 10 years?
Well, besides you, Lou. Well, of course, my wife. I can't forget that one because it's always great fun to have my wife on. But the most fun I always had was letting them bring out the medical equipment and let them experiment on me. I've done things from reflex testing to see if I can drive a car safely. I always thought it was amazing, of course, to have the acupuncture lady. That was actually an anesthesiologist, and I think one of the things that's good about this program is helping people understand that what might have been non-traditional medicine a number of years ago has now become part of mainstream medicine. And so I had an anesthesiologist doing acupuncture on me.
A lot has changed in 10 years, and we're looking forward to the next 10 years. But to give you a bookmark for this first 10 years, NBC 25, Hugh Breslin and all of us here would like to present you with the award. Congratulations on the 500th episode of Contemporary Retirement and 10 years here at NBC 25. And we hope to be sitting here in 2018 giving you your 1,000 award pin.
Well, that would be a lot of fun, and I think that we're going to go as long as the audience continues to like it, and we find that we get a lot of positive response, and frankly our sponsors are genuinely pleased with our presentation. I know, Lou, on our radio program that your station views it as actually one of the best programs that they produce as well.
It is very informational, very timely for our audience, which is over 50, and whether you're over 50 or retired or thinking about retirement, information is absolutely the most important thing. Don't go by what your Uncle Joe says or hearsay or late night TV offers. Make sure you educate yourself in the retirement field, and that's what your show's been doing.
That's what we've been doing, and Lou, I genuinely thank you for coming here and letting me be the interviewee for a change.
Very good. Congratulations, Mike Day, on 10 years of Contemporary Retirement.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you for watching. That's it for Contemporary Retirement. Michael Day returns to this spot next week here on Contemporary Retirement.
Let's face it, claim forms and bills just aren't easy to deal with. That's why we at Quality First Insurance encourage you to call, or better yet, stop by.
Hi, I'm Paul Sweeney. At Quality First Insurance, it's just this simple. Our offices are open every weekday where you'll be able to call or visit with real live people. And there's no need for an appointment. Just ask any of our senior clients. We back up everything we promise.
Quality First has helped me secure Medigap coverage for medical expenses.
The agents have been wonderful in giving us service and attention to detail.
I've recommended their services to my friends who are very satisfied.
So if you're not happy with what you're paying for your Medigap, or more importantly, not happy with your service, give us a try. We're locally owned, and we take the time to provide you with the best. We are Quality First Insurance, quality products for quality people. Give us a call at 800-745-1411.